All right. Hey, everybody. I hope you like that theme music there. This is Joel Sangerman, and you are tuned in. I don't know if you're hearing, though, so please say something in the comments. Let me know you can hear me. Sometimes when I click these buttons in here, it goes off to mute. And the next thing you know, I'm acting like Charlie Chaplin, and we got a silent movie going on here. So please let me know in the comments if you can hear me okay. And we'll check that out and make sure everything is all good in the neighborhood. Let me go ahead and turn these comments on so that we can actually see. Let's see. Here we go. So let's see. I'll put your comments up on the screen as they come in. Let me know if you have volume. It looks like I do on my end. We did have that issue last week, and I don't want to have that again because I talked to myself for too long and we had to start over. So that was not fun. All right. So look, here's the thing. Just about every Thursday, we're covering little golden nuggets of a much larger system, a system that gets you making cash up front, cash flow monthly, and really building long-term wealth. This is what folks want who come into this program here. Okay. I'm just going to check for sound. The thing is this, necessarily so. I'm just giving you like fractional pieces of an entire system that can get you out of things that you may not want to do. Things like, let's call it being a job slave, out of trading your time or trading your labor for money. Things like being able to have the lifestyle that you've always wanted and the lifestyle that you've always been capable of. But maybe you've been held back by the allure of employer-sponsored health insurance, a regular salary that's really just enough to keep you from quitting, right? They should be paying you a little bit more, but it's just enough to keep you from quitting. And you get them back, don't you? You get that employer back. You know you do, because you give them just enough to keep them from firing you. So if you're sick of that game, you're sick of that rat race, then, just stick with me here, okay? We're going to show you how both my clients, other successful investors, people all around the country, they're absolutely killing it financially and really doing things and experiencing their lives now in ways that they've always wanted to, but they just never fully realized until they committed themselves to investing in their own skills and their own development. So what I'd submit to you, here we go. Thought I lost y'all for a second. Hold on, let me get this back here. What I'd submit to you is this, is that folks who get into real estate investing have chosen wisely, because the benefits that a career in real estate investing offers and the benefits that you can derive from learning how this business really can work outside of just the ridiculous stuff that people try to convince you that it's the right way to roll. Things like foreign exchange trading or Forex, right? Options trading, cryptocurrency, speculative industries. See, we don't have to do any of that speculating. It's not that those strategies can't possibly work, but we don't have to speculate. We can literally buy as much real estate as we want, literally, with none of our own money and none of our own credit. And that's what I'm specifically going to show you how to do tonight. But first, I want to share something with you. I want to share with you something from our Facebook group. Now, I don't intend to, denigrate this person at all. This might not totally be her fault. And as much as it's not her fault, it is probably her problem. And if you're in this kind of situation that I'm going to share with you, I know it's not your fault, but given it is your problem, the question becomes, what are you going to do about it? Are you just going to stay status quo, nothing changes, or do you want to get an education so you can get results? So I'm going to give you a perfect example of how much you think you're not paying for this or for, real estate training, but you're paying for the school of no results, school of hard knocks, in lost opportunity cost by not getting these skills and not getting the guidance that gets you to the other side. So let me give you a perfect example of this. This ought to be called How to Stay Broke, how to never get the results you want. I mean, maybe next week we'll make that the topic. But look at this. Look at this here. Let me kind of show you. If I can share the screen. And by the way, I see a few of you on here. I know I've been sending up the recorded ones. This is actually live right now, I guess, unless you're watching it on replay. Somebody say something in the comments and let me know that you can hear me okay, because I was like silent Bob for 15 minutes before. But it would be great if somebody would let me know that you guys are getting all this. So I'm going to throw up in the screen here. Actually, what I'm going to do, if there's a way to share the screen on here, I need to do that. Let me share the screen so I can show you a screenshot here. This should share in a moment. Well, let's just share the entire screen. Why not? Here we go. Okay. I'm assuming that you guys can see what I'm sharing here. Okay, so this is somebody in our Facebook group. I've never done a Zoom call with her. Never met her. I'm on standby waiting to help. And she's posting in Facebook groups. Now, we did a whole thing last week about being careful who you listen to. But I want you to look at what the opportunity that she has right here. Thanks, Ronnie. You're watching it on YouTube's. Yeah, that's okay. There's something weird with the comments, like in terms of privacy, that Facebook has. I don't think YouTube has that issue, but I appreciate you commenting because I can see yours. Anyway, what she's saying here is that she's never done a creative deal. Presumably that means that maybe she's just doing wholesaling or cash deals or fix and flip. And she's asking because, this is a group who has a fair amount of intelligence in terms of how to handle creative financing deals. But I'd submit to you that when you have $10 million worth of deals here, going into a Facebook group to get advice, I mean, it makes me wonder, like I wondered last week, if you have $10 million of deals in front of you and you're going to post into a Facebook group and try to get random commentary from people you don't want, I mean, why not just take a gun out and decide, should I take it to the head or should I take it through the chin? You're killing yourself. The question is, how would you structure this deal? You got a $6,500 potential rent with a value of 1.5, but the seller's asking 1.8. You got a $5,500 rent with a value of 1.36, seller's asking 1.8. You got another one, $5,500 in rent, $1.26 million property, seller's asking 1.85. Property could rent for $7,500, value is 1.7. Seller's asking $3 million. And the seller says, hey, if you get these done, there's 10 more behind it. Well, look, here's the thing. So let me show you the other Do I have the other image here? I believe I do. Yeah. Let me blow this one up. Okay. So what I explained, actually, it's probably more important to look down here at the bottom, is nobody could actually competently answer that question. There's other facts that would have to be known. How much does the seller own? Is there an underlying note? What are the terms on it? Did we talk to the seller? Did we find out what they want down? If they want anything down? Well, they want something down, but will they sell with nothing down or not? Or how close to zero can they get? How much do they want monthly? Are they even willing to take payments on it? What's the condition of the properties? Okay, now, how are you going to go into a group and say, tell me how to structure this deal? And some D-bag comes in out of nowhere and do this, do that, do this, do that. They're just shooting from the hip. This is how you lose money. This is how you go broke. And I'd submit to you, you got a seller with $10 million of property and says he has 10 more behind it. How much is it costing you to not know how to do these deals? Did I stop the share? Because I want to go back and show you some more. Thank you for the folks who are here. Let me just, isn't this cool? I can kind of put your stuff up here. Boss says, can hear me. We got loud and clear. We got my man, Ronnie the Great, one of the greatest hypnotists, comedians of all time. Go check out Ronnie's show. Go check out his YouTube channel. And now, Ronnie, I have to take you off the screen there. You got every now and then you got to come up the stage there, Ron. Look, I'm not trying to denigrate this individual at all. I'm trying to point something out. Okay, what I'm trying to point out is simply this. She's got a guy who's got over $10 million worth of property, and he wants to sell. She don't know what to do. Very likely, across that portfolio, there's $1 million of profit in there. If she only knew what to do, how to handle it. All right, let me show you how we would make things like that work, picking up from where we left off last week, so that you're not in a situation where you have all this missed opportunity coming at you from all over. And may Buddha bless you, Ronnie. I'm not a Buddhist. Stand with Israel. Although I'm not a religious guy, I just don't like to see people being slaughtered, even though I know it's on the other side too. But the government of the other side is really causing that travesty for the Palestinian people, who I also feel very, very sad for. Sorry to bring that up, guys, but it is an emotional time seeing that kind of stuff. And I'm the kind of guy who watches stuff that I shouldn't watch, like actually seeing real footage of some of these atrocities. So anyway, and I don't want to get into it, but let's talk about how we make money. We make money. This is another thing, folks. You realize if you make money, this girl that I was showing you here, I'm sure she's a great person. I don't know her personally, just pointing out. If she made $1 million on that and then had the skills to make millions and millions and millions more, what kind of position does that put her in? She's afraid to spend a few $1,000s on coaching, getting the help. Many invitations to get on a Zoom call, getting the help you need to be able to make those kinds of deals. To me, it's like, don't you want to be able to have the kind of money that allows you to help the causes that you're interested in? If you want to, if you want to help the Palestinian people, the Israeli people, the Ukrainian people, the Russian folks, people in Africa, people in America. Well, money is what gives you the ability to do that. So when you don't go and get skills that are not that hard to learn, I mean, I hate to say it, but if you have the means to come up with just a few grand to learn skills that'll make you seven figures, it's almost selfish in a way, isn't it? So that may sound self-serving in the sense that I'm selling coaching to people that I decide to take into the group, but I'm not even saying it has to be with me. Go do it with somebody. Don't do it with me. Don't do it with me. Get yourself good coaching. I'm not the only one. Get yourself good coaching. Put yourself in a position to make money so you can help deal with all these travesties that are occurring all around the world that are about to get way worse. I'm getting myself all spun up here, but that's okay. All right, let's talk business. So I'm going to share some slides with you here. Hopefully I am. That'll hopefully paint a picture for you guys. This should be the right one. Let me think. I don't know why I have two of these presentations in here, but let's just find out. Okay, so you should be seeing this. Okay, good. All right, this is what I call a 90-day close. And this is when the deal is less than ideal. So like all of those deals that I just showed you, those potential deals, they're less than ideal. The seller wants too much money, right? But the seller wants to sell. If they want to sell, that seller is absolutely going to do one of the things that we service. Now, can you imagine this? The dude is liking Christy, liking her. That was her first name in there, right? I crossed out the last name just to protect her. But not that it totally does. You can probably look in the Facebook group. But the thing is, there's at least $10 million of properties there. I mean, what if you're a realtor and you came in and you learned these skills and you showed them a little bit of your competency, your expertise, the different alternatives that the seller has? By being transparent and genuine and authentic with that seller, you're able to show a certain sense of integrity, certain sense of character. That seller makes an inference about your character, your competency, and feels like this is somebody I want to work with. And then if you're a realtor, you get to list all those properties as a worst case scenario. So how much do you make if you get 3 points on $10 million? By my math, that's like 300 grand. And he said he had 10 more behind it. So what does that even mean? Does that mean another 10 million? I don't know. But hundreds of thousands of dollars are at your feet when you just have the basic skills to get on the phone with somebody, demonstrate your character, demonstrate your competency, and let the chips fall where they may with a little bit of couth, decorum, and tact. This is what we do, folks. We don't jam low-priced offers down people's throats. Don't work. Oh, Ronnie, I didn't mean to leave that God bless you on there like that. Hold on, I got to figure out how to get rid of that. How do I get rid of that? I didn't mean to leave that up there the whole time like that. I like it though. Okay, so let me take it back here. So sometimes the deal isn't ideal, and I want to show you what we actually do about that. Sometimes what we're able to do is not get the perfect deal for us because the price is too high, like in those examples. Probably, we don't know. We haven't seen enough information, but or the monthly payment could be too high that the seller wants. We don't know because she didn't ask, didn't even know to ask or not. You know, maybe the seller wants to be cashed out too quickly. Well, I'll take terms, I'll take payments, but I got to be paid off in 6 months. I got to be paid off in a year. You know, maybe the seller wants too big of a down payment. Yeah, I'll take terms. How much are you going to put down? Well, I got to have at least 20% down. You know, those kinds of things, right? But are we just going to walk, or are we going to force our way on them? Folks, that doesn't work very well. It can. Like, you could scrape a living by force feeding, you know, your offers into sellers. But our plan is different. The seller, if we walk away, still has to sell that house. Somebody's getting a contract, whether it's a listing agreement or a contract to buy, with good terms or bad terms. So we ought to be fully transparent with that seller, talk about the alternatives, the pros and cons of each. You have to learn that, right? You're going to learn that through course, coaching, that kind of a thing. And then we go out and get the contract from that seller for the best terms that we could possibly get. And then we go out to the market and let the market speak to us with 90 days to close. And what happens is maybe we close with the current terms because we beat those terms in the market. The market spoke and the market said they paid more than what our agreement is, and we can just close on it and make the spread in between. Or the market speaks and it's under what the terms are that the seller wants, in which case we can go to the seller and negotiate a deal after the deal with a bird in the hand, or they can request we go back and try to get the two that may or may not be in the bush. But we have a bird in the hand. So when the buyer appears, the seller oftentimes will change their tune, particularly one of the terms will go way up and maybe one of them isn't as good. Maybe they get super high monthly payments, but there needs to be a lower price. Maybe they get way more down payment, but it has to be a lower price. Maybe they get way less down payment, but a way bigger price. So, none of that is contemplated really on the front end because the market hasn't spoke, but you let the market speak. So we learn through our marketing. Our marketing is tremendous. Their marketing is not going to be nearly as good as ours. We let the market speak, and then we get whatever deals are coming to us. And the bottom line is that the seller is going to have to face the reality of where the market is. We're going to invest our time, our energy, our resources, our knowledge, our experience, and we're going to bring the seller the facts. And then we're going to proceed with the seller in a position of strength, having showed our competency and our character through a relationship over the time that we're trying to sell the house for us. So I'm not saying try to sell the house for them. We're selling the house for us. We have an agreement to buy the house. We're going to try to beat those terms. The reason we're not closing in a week like we would normally would, and we need 90 days to close, is because we think that the terms are too juicy for the seller. If they can't back off those terms, we'll take those terms. We'll go out to our market, see what the market brings, but we don't want to go at risk. But we do think it is possible, if not probable, that we'll have a buyer on our list or among the marketing within the marketing that we do, where someone comes in and beats the deal that we have with the seller, which is what our whole game is. We don't have to, pussyfoot around that with the seller. They know we're not running a not-for-profit organization on purpose. But if the seller's happy with whatever terms they give us, we're going to try to beat those. And if we can't, there's still probably a way to structure it. But that seller is going to hear what the market says. The only thing they have to lose is a little bit of time, and we can go get these deals. And if none of that works for the seller, like I said, you can have the real estate license and you can list these properties, because that's where it's going to end up. They ain't selling these properties on their own unless they have a particular amount of savvy. And if that's the case, then you're probably not going to get that deal. But most people don't, right? Most people, they're dentists, they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're construction workers, they're this, they're that. They don't have time to do all this real estate. Okay, they didn't learn these skills. So they're depending on a professional like you to be able to show them what actually can occur and to help shepherd them through the process. This is why I like people to get a real estate license, which we're going to talk about later. Not required, but pretty good idea. Okay. Now what happens? So we go get this buyer. We've got a contract to close. We got 90 days. We didn't even like the terms. That's why we didn't close on it right away. We got 90 days to close, but we go out to the market. We see what kind of buyer we can get for ourselves. And all of a sudden we have a buyer that appears. So the seller is either going to restructure a more favorable deal with us based on what the buyer is able to bring to the table, these are skill sets that you need someone to coach you through, or they're going to have to resort to the traditional sale where a realtor is going to be needed, and we help them with that either as a realtor or with a realtor that is on our team. Or the other thing they can do is they can go it alone, but they're going to end up in a worse position than what they had with us. And that's why 100% of the seller deals in any market can possibly be profitable for us. No seller is going to be able to do something with their house where they wouldn't have been better off working with us, because the realtors are going to try to hit them with 6%, or if they do like a discount, they're probably not going to be as competent. They don't understand the game the way we do, because you understand all elements of investment as well as the brokerage angle. even if you're not a broker. Because after all, a real estate broker or any kind of a broker, the reality is, and the reason I make this second fiddle to being an investor is, you know why they call it a broker, right? Because the people who use brokers end up broker, unless it's us. Okay. So no seller's going to do something with their house where they wouldn't have been better off working with us. And when you know this, it comes across on the phone and you just get more deals done, folks. Now, how does it actually go down? Here's the way it actually would go down. We'll simultaneously close our deal. So we've got a deal with our seller. Maybe we don't have the money. This happens all the time, right? Newer people, they don't have the money. The seller wants 15 grand down or something like that. We don't have the money, but we give ourselves 90 days to close. We go out to find our buyer, but they have 30 grand down. We can fund our purchase from the seller with that 30 grand, simultaneously close. So we simultaneously close by funding our purchase from the seller with the proceeds that we're getting from our buyer, and we keep the spread. Or we could just decide to assign our deal in a similar way as when we wholesale. But you can assign terms deals too. It's not just cash deals that can be assigned. The difference is that we'd be assigning perhaps a seller financed deal, a lease purchase. It could be a deal where we're taking over existing debt, taking over payments subject to an existing mortgage, or it's just simply a cash deal that's priced low enough for us to make a spread. You don't need capital and money down to profit immensely in real estate. You need the ability to go get contracts, go see what the market says, close both of them, and hopefully stay in the middle, like I'm saying here, because I want to be a buffer zone between the buyer and the seller. I want to be able to deal with problems if they come up, fix them properly if needed. But most of all, I want to keep making money on the same house. Like I showed you with the $1 million of deals where I had several different lease option buyers on each of those houses that I showed, because I stayed in the middle instead of assigned it away. You can keep making money on the same house. It's a golden goose that keeps laying golden eggs. So why assign anything away? Now, I want to cover some more stuff with you, but I think what I want to do is cover some of this stuff. How do I get this slide share to stop here? There we go. What I think I want to do is have a little fireside chat for a couple minutes here and continue with more on this topic. We're going through a whole progression here, right? Actually, I'll just go back to this for a second. We've got a lot of stuff to go through. Guys, I'm going to be giving you all of this. Ain't nobody paying me jack for anything, right? I'm going to be taking you through so much information here, all the way through scripts and all kinds of things. Hang with me on these calls, folks. As a second best option, I'd like to just kind of explain to you why it's not your best option, though. Remember when I showed you those $10 million of deals that she didn't know how to close? She's asking people in random Facebook groups. Man, that's a lost opportunity. People need coaching to help with the implementation and the nuances of the different deals that come up, particularly if you're doing a 90-day close. So it pays for itself extremely quickly. We're not talking about a lot of money, a few $1,000s, right? It pays for itself in so many ways. But, if you're just wanting free, because you think you can make that work, go ahead, by all means. But just, be warned, 91%, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but 95% of the time, you're not going to be able to piece everything together. You're going to make mistakes because you've omitted certain things, or you're going to make mistakes because you've committed certain atrocities that are not smart in real estate investing, like I talked about last Thursday. It ends up costing you far more than the coaching would have. So, it's just really a question of, what risk do you want to take in your life? 1 month out, 3 months out, 5 years out. And if you think that through, you just might be able to see that it's actually more of a risk for you to wait until the time is just right, which it ain't never going to be. Nothing changes. You end up going another month, another year, another 5 years, stay in the status quo. Things actually get worse. Things get more urgent. Folks, it's far more of a gamble to do that. What Homegirl is doing, what I showed you in there, letting these deals slip through the cracks versus investing a couple of grand into mentoring and coaching so that you can bridge the financial gap, the time and freedom gap, if you will, from where you are now to where you want to be. I mean, you want that, right? That's got to be why you're here. It sure as hell ain't my good looks. I mean, I wish it was. We all know that's not the case. So ask yourself, what's more of a risk, status quo or pursuing opportunity? If it's the latter, just go ahead and schedule a doggone Zoom call. It's going to be with me. It's going to be free. You're welcome for that, by the way, for giving you that outlet. And, just one other thing I'd ask is if you're getting anything out of these meetings or replays, you think this is useful to any degree whatsoever, and I should be doing more of these? I mean, I'm not even really asking you to come on live. I put the replays up a lot, right? I'd rather have people in here live, but I know people can't always make it. It's late Eastern time, right? But if you're getting anything out of this, then, whoever's viewing this live, whoever's on the replay, would you mind just going over to YouTube and hitting that subscribe button, like it, hit the notifications button, make a comment in there. That's all I'm asking. Not much. Not that I really need it, but it makes me more motivated to do more of this. Helps get the information out there so that you don't get exposed to all this nonsense from people, investing a fortune in, the social media marketing and thing, which is just not really wanting to do that myself. I'd rather do it organically. So I'm just going to thank you actually in advance for doing that. Go ahead, subscribe, little gesture in return for all this. If you're getting something out of it, if you're not, don't do it. But if you are, I appreciate it. All right, y'all. I'm headed to the 2023 Stanley Cup champion Golden Knights game. So I'm going to go ahead and sign on off from here. Wish you all a wonderful evening. I don't see anything that I've missed in the comments. So I'll just end the evening by saying, appreciate y'all. See ya.